Rising, everybody. Welcome to Guerrilla Off Grid, episode 3. We left the house at 4:20 this morning, myself and... Come on, where are you? We are off to Cornwall with a slight pit stop in Devon. We're off to meet Paul, who is what I would consider an expert in foraging and bushcraft. So we're going to learn some massive survival skills that we really should be taught in schools, but we're not. I hope you enjoy. I am free, you are free, we are free. Truth be told, Guerrilla Off Grid. Hit like, hit subscribe, hit the bell button.
I've been advised ain't no killing time, cause in life I'm chosen. You fucked up, there ain't no going back. It's like the hymen's broken. It's psilocybin on microdosing, so I'm evolving. A kiss goodbye, all the blissful times are inside my soul, and all the negative was relative. I learned my lessons, I place no blame and I feel no shame, cause I heard the message. I know I wish you all the best, cause I know words are weapons. Still love each one of you, but I gotta move, my purpose beckons. I'm grateful for this life I lead, I'm meditating high and free. Duality, make tyrants bleed, I call them out, no hide and seek. Ain't got time to be wasting, waiting, hating the way they're alienating. Guess maybe my lesson is patience, face it, we got to find our dreams. I'm balancing me, channeling chi. I won't damage or flee lest you're trying to kill me. Feel all this passion in me, I can heal other people and smash them to peace. Catching the beat, we won't turn our backs and retreat. No, we will not crash and defeat. We are here in the fight, we are free. I am free, you are free, we are free. I am free, you are free, we are free. I am free, you are free, we are free. Yeah, I am free, you are free, and we are free.
I've just been in contact with Paul, and I'm just coming down a strange hidden path to find where he's at in his caravan.
Older past the kiss by. Take a chance, heads or tails. I got nothing to prove, so guess I'll see you on the flip side. Thought you were in my story, yeah, but what can I do? Maybe we'll kick it in the next life. But for now I made a promise and I gotta come through. But still I'm wishing you the best life. I'm vibing higher than misfire when I stand in my truth.
Where's the cat? There's the man. Let me just shut this door so the cat won't get in.
Yeah, so
Nice to meet you, bro.
good man. Right, so I'm a little bit dishevelled.
Don't worry about it,
I've
mate.
been up with him all night and
How's he doing?
yeah, I got options, but it's a case of he enjoys looking after the caravan. He's got a job.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got a job, so that's the positives. Yeah, I know, that's a nice one. Can I have it? Settle. She's good. I'm sorry to fucking hovel in there, but there she is.
Oh, hello. Hello.
Yeah, fully touchable.
Hello.
She is the queen.
Hello.
I lead people into the, not into their comfort zones. I take them out of their comfort zone.
Good.
And that's the way to deal with things.
Well, that's what this is all about, isn't it? Because the only reason that we're in the predicament as a species is because we got too comfortable.
Yeah.
And we started relying on others to look after us, isn't it? So.
Exactly. My dogs I've got to look after, okay? I'm taking on a lot of lockdown dogs. You know, people get a puppy and stuff like this, and now suddenly when they're allowed to go back to work, working for the man, the dogs are a problem.
Paul's taking his roof down, super gassed about it. Yeah, man.
Yeah, most people don't want to spend time with you. They want you to spend your time with them. Can leave you feeling stagnant when surrounded by bone idle friends. I learned that in the past, but at last I learned to notice when the vibe's not aligned. And if consistent, I gotta cut loose ends.
Oh, you've heard of Gary Glitter? Yeah? Well, that's where he is. He's in here, in the keep. He's coming out soon as well. So let's go and have a look. This is where all the paedophiles in the country, that's where they send them. They only serve half a sentence as well. Let's have a look. You have a look over the drop.
Boy, I'm not even tall enough to look down. Shit, I still can't see the bottom.
Yeah.
That's mad.
Yeah. Well, in fact, we can go on the bridge. This is where all the devils live. And they put them away here. Out of sight, out of mind, isn't it?
Wow.
Unfortunately, it's foggy today, so we can't see the. You look all along this thing. People think that nobody is there. If you look on top of the hill when you can get some vision, there's air vents. There's all sorts of shit.
Martin.
Yeah.
Why does it look so derelict? Like, not derelict, but like locked off, no people, do you know what I mean?
I mean, you look at this stonework.
Well, it's like some pyramid shit, isn't it? That's mad.
This is a bit extracurricular, but I thought.
Well, look how far down, look how big it is though. These are actually fucking pyramids when you think about how big they are.
This is as big as you can see. Obviously, it's foggy.
Mad.
There's more to see. Obviously,
look at that fucking cliff of a wall, mate. Like, I bet
that's man-made. That's man-made.
You know what? You could have a whole city inside these without anyone even knowing.
And look at the numbers.
1881.
Yeah, it's a palindrome, so it says the same backwards as it does forwards.
Oh yeah, of course.
Hear people talk the talk but not walk it. Surround myself with ones who move forward, cause over time I've learned you can't force it. Not on the same vibe, it gets awkward. Your soul's calling, learn to listen. An internal sign to your divine mission. Trying to master my inner guidance and learn to develop emotional wisdom. But yeah, I'm getting tired of always waiting on them. So I cut my ties, but I ain't hitting on them. I've been wasting too much time on other people's problems, but now my chakras are aligned. I must review my
past
options.
a kiss by.
Yeah.
Take a chance, heads or tails. I got nothing to prove, so guess I'll see you on the flip side. Thought you were in my story, yeah, but what can I do? Maybe we'll kick it in the next life. But for now I made a promise and I gotta come through. But still I'm wishing you the best life. I'm vibing higher than misfire when I stand in my truth.
That's spooky.
That's fucking mad.
That's spooky, man. That is spooky.
Hey, we got our own CCTV.
Look what Gary Glitter gets to look at every morning.
Yeah, and you see on top of this hill, you can see all the vents, all the air vents. There's everything underground in there. Okay, so we've just had a little bit of a tour and looking at some things. What we're going to do now is go and look at some three-cornered leek, Allium triquetrum. Hello, Pusscat. You coming to say hello as well? Here we go. And yeah, we're going to fill our bags.
Sweet.
Feed the rich. What we're looking at is this one, and you are perfectly legal to pick this. It's a Schedule 9 invasive species. Okay, so you can take up the roots, you can do whatever. You're actually doing the country a favour with it. Okay, Allium triquetrum, three-cornered leek. Good food. It's a little bit like wild garlic, it's the same family. We'll snap it off. If you can see the cross section of the stem there, that's why it's called triquetrum, three-cornered leek. It's got it's like a triangle shape on there, you see what I mean? And to eat it, you know, I'll do the proof in the pudding. I don't promote anyone to eat anything that I ain't gonna eat. It's a lot mellower flavour. It's sweeter, but it's got a good garlic flavour, and that is good for health. It's good for the heart. It's good for your blood flow. It's fantastic plant, and we're going to gather a few of these bits today. I can get a tuft like that. I'm going to pull it up vertical. See? I'm going to give them a shake off. Get rid of some of the dirt, some of the shit. And then there's an odd ivy leaf in there I'm going to pluck out. There we go. So I got a good handful there. Okay,
So what we got?
We've done our quota and we've not even made a dent. There's still plenty enough for everyone else.
All the way down.
Yeah, that's the way we do, sustainability. So when you get your stuff, and maybe if you've got no means of having a fridge or anything like this, the first thing you need to do when you pick your stuff, I know we're using plastic bags, but that's a necessary evil. Okay, try and squeeze all the air out. Don't squish them up.
There you got vacuum packed fresh vegetables straight from the side of the road.
And did it cost us any money?
No.
Nothing.
And it tastes like sweet garlic.
Yep.
Nice. There's Mr. Robin, who always turns up. No matter where I go, a Robin turns up if I'm on a little journey for a specific reason.
It's always
everywhere.
A sign. It's always a sign. What we're looking at here, there's been a lot of damage. In the last few weeks, we've had some terrible floods. We've had frost and snow and things like this. But this is a plant that does flourish. It's because it's a wild plant, it has to survive. So what we're looking for is the stages of growth. Now that's where the energy is in the plant. So you start from the root. When it comes up to the young growth like this, we're looking at the top of the plant. That's where all the energy is. These bigger leaves, they're just a solar panel for the energy for this, so it can grow. And this will get high. They get about 5-6 foot tall. So when you're picking stuff, you always got to look for the young growth. And you can see the difference in the colour. You see that's a more vibrant kind of green. All right, this one here, this is a solar panel now for the photosynthesis. And that's coming back down and into here. Then obviously it comes into flower. The flowers are also edible. And then we get into the seed. And then the seed is where all the energy is. So with most plants, as a general rule, we look at their stages of growth. So this one here, this is Allium ampeloprosum. This is the elephant garlic, which is the commercial name, but it's not actually a garlic, it's a leek, still in the Allium family. There is a method of picking these. All right, and this is something this is a patch I've been nurturing for some years now, and they make quite a satisfying sound when you pull them. You have to be vertical. Just take care. There you go, and it's a nice little popping sound. What I've done, I've left the actual bulb in the ground. That will regenerate.
Okay.
And we've got this. And that's a beautiful, beautiful thing to have. Again, it's wild, it's nutritious, and it's free. And there we have it. Every single part of the plant is edible. When it comes into flower, the flowers are edible, the seeds are edible. I take the seed heads off and I scatter them. That is why we've got all of this. You'll never overpick it.
Not a bad sight to be looking at while you do your work either, is it?
Not even work, is it? It's fun.
Anything I need, yeah, I can pattern it. Cause bro, I'm winning, can't rewind cause now it's happening. The world's a girl that's trying to make you work to have the thing. Till I'm like this, my morning smoothie, come and have a sip. I built my kingdom, this ain't England, love and happiness. Cause that's the only kind of thing I'm trying to manifest. Pick my gold and I go at it like a man obsessed. Every day I level up, so I already passed the test. You know that JD, the anarchist that grows organic, fighting demons with the activists. His meditations take you higher than a bag of piff. He's on that magic.
Right, so Paul has finally joined us in Cornwall, myself and my lovely hosts Will and Andrea. We're off down to do some foraging on the beach, but before we've got to that, Paul wants to show us something else.
Yeah, just a nice interesting one. Got this one here, right? This is called, well, the Latin name is Umbilicus rupestris. Umbilicus, it's got a common name, which is navel wart, because it looks like a belly button with an umbilical cord on it.
Ah.
And this one tastes, it's a bit like mange too. Very crunchy. It's quite a succulent thing. Obviously okay to eat from the wall because no dogs have been weeing on it or anything.
Piss that eye.
Good to try, and I might even, this is some urban foraging. I've got a bit of this in my sandwich, and then there we go, just to add to the texture.
Nice.
Well worth trying these ones.
Yeah, I might give it a go myself.
Yeah. Pennywort is another name for it.
Let's try it.
Oh, that's nice.
The Latin names always have a description. And like I say, umbilicus, umbilical cord, navel wart.
Actually, that is well nice.
Yeah.
I've never tasted.
Proper nice, succulent, crunchy green, that is.
Ain't protesting on my knees cause I ain't capping it. I see what we need, I'm grabbing it, we're having it. We're manifesting massive gifts, it's not no magic trick. I work with gods and we create so we can pattern it. There ain't no losing involved. You either move or you don't. I gotta prove to my soul. Anything we need, yeah, we can pattern it. You gotta choose to evolve. You gotta groove, gotta grow. Cause there's a truth to be told. That anything we dream of, we can pattern it. I told my family no going back, I'm a golden max. So know the facts, you should notice that. This the golden stacks. I'm synchronizing and opening chakras like yoga class. The man that shatters perceptions like it was broken glass. Abracadabra, balancing, beat the challenge. Life's a marathon, why I come with the stamina. Malaga to Africa, don't make them in my caliber. I hit my targets, take my shot, this ain't no camera. But get the picture, we're off the Richter and pledge my scripture. Vibrating higher than writing rhymes as a raving drifter. Straight JD, forget the mixer, the elixir. A sovereign being, call me king, don't ever call me mister.
Oh yeah, that's what we had yesterday.
That nice little popping sound. So this is Allium ampeloprasum, your elephant garlic. It's like a plug.
And with these, you just literally pull up.
Yeah, try to get it vertical and you get that nice popping sound. And oh, fucking hell, they are. Jeez.
Like strong.
And it is, when they're at this stage, they are potent because there's so much energy in a very small space.
It's like garlic, onions and spice all in one.
Yeah, it's almost like chili, like the heat.
It's like chili heat. Have some. Have you had some? Come on, you're on camera now. Go on, do it.
Come on.
Give it more marsh.
Let it go.
Will grow anywhere.
I meditate and levitate, there is no gravity. Just be myself and that's my wealth, it brings the salary. Cause I can show my money grows upon a magic tree. Cause my third eye can see the signs and where the patterns meet.
It's like a lot of the things that we eat, we learn to like the taste of through our life anyway. But the problem is that all of the food that we are presented with is supermarket owned, and supermarket owned farms, and they use pesticides and they use genetically modified seeds, and it literally changes your DNA. It changes the DNA of people that consume it, because you are what you eat. But what we don't realise is that the land upon which we were born is abundant in natural vegetation, and also they have a lot of healing properties, and they don't really want you to know that, because there's a lot of profit in feeding people and keeping people well. But if they keep themselves well and feed themselves, then there's no money.
You want to be looking at this one later on in the year as well. That's buckthorn.
Yeah.
Buckthorn?
Yeah.
What's buckthorn good for?
Well, this is like, over the last few years, it's been traded off as like the new health food, you know, like absolute top fashion at the moment. Obviously, it's not, the fruit isn't there now.
Yeah.
Later on, you'll see the little orange berries.
Okay.
They are delicious.
Yeah.
Antioxidant. There's all the other, you know, health benefits that
Nice.
go with these things, vitamin C's and all that. Even though they're no good at the moment, you still spot them about and make a, you know, I make a mental map in my head. Everything in my head's mental. This is call it stag's horn or buck's horn plantain. You can see, and that's because of the shape of the leaves. It looks like a deer's antler.
All right.
So it's called stag's horn or buck's horn. This you're not going to find anywhere, probably within like half a mile from the coast. So if you were stuck somewhere, like in a pea super, you know, like in the fog, don't know where you are, you can't get your bearings. If I'm seeing this on the floor, I know I'm not that far away from the coast. I'm only like within half a mile.
Okay.
So, you know,
Good navigation tool then,
yeah,
as well,
exactly.
and you can eat it as well then.
yes, there's got some good qualities. It's a bit of safety knowledge, because you can get caught away in the moment, and you're there picking stuff, you've got your head down and you're not looking around you, suddenly the tide comes in, bang, you're done. So you've got to take those sort of things into mind as well.
Will likes to push the boundaries on that one, doesn't he?
There you go, it's growing better down here now.
That's the kiddie. Yeah,
What's that?
perfect.
That's the rock samphire.
Ah, okay. So that's what we're here for today then?
Yeah.
Yep.
Nice.
So,
Once you see it, you can't unsee it.
Rock samphire. Nice. So I bet you don't have to buy your missus flowers much, do you?
Actually looks at me. Yes, darling.
Yes, this is a better example of the sea beet or the sea spinach, we call it. Look at this, it's a nice substantial leaf, a little bit of frost burn or wind bite on there. Real substantial, again, succulent. It likes to thrive on the salt spray. You're not going to find it growing in the sea.
Yeah.
This is like, we call it the coastal zone. It needs some salt spray for its nutrients, etc. And you'll find a lot of coastal plants, they've all got that waxy sort of appearance to them. Quite thick. Really substantial though. Good food. Do you want to try a bit?
Yeah.
Give me a good piece. There we go.
Sweet. Thanks.
Obviously a lot milder than the hot stuff we've just had.
Yeah, but it opens your palate up to new things, because it doesn't taste like the salad and veg in the shops. It's like a whole new variety of food that you've never had before.
Yeah, it's a taste
and it's free, and it's better for you, and it's electric food from the land.
Yeah, because you know, we're literally picking this and putting it in our mouths. It hasn't had time to deteriorate, it hasn't had time to lose any of its energy. It's going bang straight back in you.
And because of it's obviously naturally growing, so it's natural selection, isn't it? It's nature it's fought its way through nature to survive, so it's got all the strong properties. It's not been boosted with chemicals, it's not been modified to make sure it can grow in any circumstance. It's picked to what you might consider to be a very difficult place to thrive. Yeah. And it's found a way of doing so, which means that it's strong, and you are what you eat. So if you can eat some of that strength from the earth, then
you're kind of taking it all back. And in fact, these are nice examples. Good examples you can see here. And you see it glistening in the sun as well. And what that's doing now is absorbing the sunlight. It's trying to get as much nutrients out of the ground as it can, because this is not good ground. If it was good ground, they'd be growing crops on it.
Yeah.
But they're not.
Yeah.
So, good strong plants. Some, you know, would class them as weeds. I don't class anything as a weed. It's just something that's growing where it can, and you've got to respect them for their tenacity, you know, and their strength of being able to grow.
What's this then?
This one's called Salty Fingers.
That's the other one that I get from Paul.
Yeah, so this is almost, they look a bit like the old licorice torpedoes you used to have when you were a kid from the sweet shop. Similar sort of shape, or like a jelly bean. Again, it's another succulent, it's a coastal plant. It's not a native species. I believe it comes from Africa. Again, I think it's another ornamental that they use in their gardening or whatever, and it's just managed to flourish now. Really good, succulent, slightly salty, obviously because of the sea spray. Do you want to try a bit?
Yeah.
It's like a salty grape.
Yeah, that's a good way of describing it.
Yeah, that tastes like the seaside.
You know, a lot of these menus nowadays.
Peasants.
Nah.
That's the talking point.
Yeah.
Yes, there's some peasants on the Cornish coast, and they've been fetching us salty fingers by the ton. Fucking bums. Get a job.
Bloody hippies.
Right, so collecting salty fingers, what do we do?
It's best to start from the bottom and then sort of like gently, not rip it, but just sort of gently ease it off. Try it.
Just tease it out.
Praying for them healing vibes, meditating with the wildlife beneath the skies, whilst we grieve for lives lost and weep the cries, and stay disguised from them demons' eyes. Read the signs so I breathe a line and quantum leap through time. Pass me knowledge and the sight so I can lead the blind. From entire nations' isolation we can find. Just look inside and realize you've always been divine. We have the power of the universe inside our souls, and from the time we left the uterus our time is gold. Rest in peace to my unborn seed, shine on home. I know the universe has saved you from these times unknown. That's how I know the gods have got a bigger plan for me. The reason that I plan to lead into these times unknown. So while the evil tries to lock us down, we rise and grow. They buried us but we were seeds, and baby I just know. You got to tell me how I can articulate myself to make the truth rise. Please keep me healthy so I can lead the battle strong, precise, and make my moves right. Can someone help me? Try and keep my cool because I only wanna do right. Can't set myself free till my people free too, cause we together reach a new high. They say there's nothing new that's under the sun, and I'm sorry if you're thinking that I'm jumping the gun, but got machete on my waist and I got slugs in my gun, because if Gates tries to vaccinate I'm looking to run.
Not too bad for a day's work, is it? So Will, how long have you been foraging for then?
Now, since Christmas, since the New Year.
So not long then?
No, not long. Paul got us into it. So it's just one of them things that just looking at and enjoying and developing. It's just getting that knowledge of what you're looking for and where you're picking it from. We'll try pickling some of it later as well. Just the different bits and see what it comes out like.
Trying to steal my spirituality, the bag to get ya. I could creep up in the flipping church and smack the vicar, whilst everybody light one up or splash some liquor. Rest in peace, Black the Ripper. Another soldier gone, another martyr for the cause. Another Sun Tzu bringing art for every war. Take note and stand or even die for your truth, because your legacy can only live on forevermore. Shit's about to change and that's my word to adapt. Burn the history books and find a way to learn from your past, cause self-sufficiency is everything concerning the facts. Forget credit, that's something that I learned from my dad. You got to tell me how I can articulate myself to make the truth rise. Please keep me healthy, so I can lead the battle strong, precise, and make my moves right. Can someone help me try and keep my cool, because I only wanna do right. Can't set myself free till my people free too, cause we together reach a new high. Could you survive in the wilderness? You got what it takes to protect your family, provide the grub for their plates? Or are you one of those thinking that it's not gonna change? Remember the track, get money, now who's lost in the maze? Do you see how they're controlling your whole life? You must do, unless you're walking both eyes closed tight. I tell you something, I ain't looking to roll dice and gamble with no life, obeying the police. Can you live off the land and navigate from the stars? Can you cook without a frying pan, just faith in your hearts? Can you meditate to have a conversation with God and organise your family when they break us apart without charging your phone or connection to Wi-Fi? Can you comprehend a life outside of this zeitgeist and stay informed without the news or watching your timelines? Get freedom for stability, now both of them bye-bye. What's your lifeline? Tell me how I can articulate myself to make the truth rise. Please keep me healthy, so I can lead the battle strong, precise, and make my moves right. Can someone help me try and keep my cool, because I only want to do right. Can't set myself free till my people free too, cause we together reach a new high.
What a great end to the day, isn't it? Been the most amazing.
That's I mean, for me, I've got the moonshot.
I know. You've got the full view.
Smoked salmon and salty fingers.
What we foraged today.
Oh, nice. 3-cornered leek. Nice. Ah, so that's bladderwrack, is it?
Yeah.
So, for all you sea moss lovers out there that know the power of Irish moss or sea moss that you can find around the Caribbean and a few other places, it actually it contains 92 of the 102 minerals that the human body needs. This stuff is the other 10. So if you mix this with your sea moss, you've got all 102 minerals that you need. If we started every day like that, your GP practice would be derelict.
I can also say around the UK coast, all seaweeds are edible.
All of them?
Yep, all of them. It's a bit like cider, to be fair. They're all drinkable, but some's better than others. That's the way I look at it. So yeah, I mean, I think there's some abundance here.
Yeah, let's. I'm gonna pick some of that to take back with me. Nice.
So when you're picking your seaweeds, right, don't go picking crap that's just been washed up.
Interesting.
What we're looking for is where it's on the holdfast.
Okay.
Down here, so you've got signs of life. You don't know if it's just washed up on the beach. You don't know how long it's been there rotting.
Where it grew originally and so on, yeah.
So there, you just snick it off with my nail. There we go. You don't go ripping it off, because then you're removing the holdfast. So
it can grow some more then.
There we go.
Nice.
Starting to say there's dreadlocks on my head top, roots through the bedrock, mama see his bed's rock. Guess what? Got the whole nation in a headlock. Hit it from the back, smash the system, get fucked. I cracked school trying to free your mind, stole your watch trying to show you how to seize the time. Realign, be advised, stand up for fear, find a whole new breed of motherfucker with a clear mind.
Obviously coming into spring, it's starting to grow now. Be a lot more lush as it, as it expands. This one's known as angel hair. or gutweed.
Right, so Gorilla Off Grid, episode 3. We are on the hunt for Tom Hanks, who has been seen on this deserted island, hiding in this cave with loads of little boys. Wilson!
It looks just like a bin bag stretched over the rock. Right, and this is lava. This is what the Welsh Irish make their lava bread from. Just looks like plastic. Now, you could have this in your mouth and you'd be chewing it all day long. You'd never break it down. So, slow cooker, low and slow, render it right down. You're looking at a good 6 to 8 hours. I put in a squirt of olive oil, some lime juice, black pepper, and it doesn't look appetizing, it just looks like green gloop. But the taste is absolutely delicious. Yeah? Yeah, real good flavour. But the other thing for picking this is, if you've got it there, there's a good example, right? If it's on a horizontal piece of rock, see it's got all them bits of sand and grit in there. Obviously as the tide's coming in and out, it deposits the sand on top. If you've got something on a vertical face, pick it off of there, that means all the grit's all been washed off as the tide goes out, you see. Yeah, but it's still at a young stage at the moment.
Ancestors protect me, bounce back every single curse that they sent me. Don't tempt me, defend me from envy. Sharp proof in the middle of a frenzy. You're damned if you do, damned if you don't. Listen though, vision flows from a spirit soul. I bring that power from the lungs like I'm Pavarotti. Figaro, Figaro, Figaro. I ain't in it for the fame, no. When them a chat about limits, what do they know? They ain't been rock bottom where it's painful. Or they know pain is strength, get the gains, bro.
That's good. Alright, this one here, that's the granddaddy of the carrots you get in your supermarket.
Okay.
This is the real wild one, but they're white and not orange.
Wow.
Wow.
There we go. And on a scale of 1 to carrot, the smell of it and the taste is carrot. Like, you smell that?
Oh, it actually is. It just smells exactly like carrot.
It really does.
But it's a lot stronger, a lot more pungent.
But, well, so this kind of lends truth then to the, like, your carrots need sandy soil to grow properly in your allotment or whatever. Maybe that's because they come from sand, which is, very sandy soil. Look at that, 3 carrots all day around. But the original electric vegetable of this continent or this island.
Yeah, and they're all over the coast. This is Daucus carota. We also could call it a sea carrot. You can find them inland as well, but they like waste ground. They like crap soil, basically, like we just said. And the seeds are really good as well.
What's that from?
That's a carrot seed.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah.
Ah.
Oh, they've probably been battered a bit. There's a few in there, but they actually smell like lemon. Real good citrusy spice, you know, just whack it up in the pestle and mortar. It's good to add to the food.
This is my preferable supermarket, guys.
The only thing you've got to watch out for with the carrot family is you've got edibles, which are good, but there are some deadables in this family. And some of the leaves look very similar. It's not too much of a daunting identification process. The carrot here, get out close, you can see it's got like hairs on the stems. It's got the same kind of leaf structure as hemlock. And hemlock will kill you.
There's an Asda over there, that's the joke thing. You can go there and buy some crap salad right there. Or you can just jump over the river and it's growing out the bank.
Fuck your payroll, I'm my own boss. March through the valley and I suffer no loss. If I starve, get the bally, I'ma stop at no cost. Like the Federal Reserve on a pack of Pro Plus.
Oh, what we got?
Just found a small patch of sea purslane, this is. And
it's actually very, very rich in omega-3, which is quite a rare thing for a plant.
Yeah.
This is chock full of it.
Naysayers get the base layers, 8K of G repping no games, fuck the main players. Fuck your jabs, man, I'm a haymaker. Uppercut and probably watch them land a day later.
Are they them poisonous carrots?
Yeah.
What's it called?
Hang on, let's have a look. That's an example there, look. It's hemlock water dropwort.
Oh, she wants to get in there and have a drink.
And that's what? That's poisonous, yeah?
Yeah, deadly poisonous. And you don't need a lot of it, and that's all parts of the plant.
You really don't.
Don't want smoke past this around some meal to their enemies. Clap for the clowns, got me feeling like the only sane bastard in town. They want trash till they crash, shake your ass to the sound.
No turning back, I cut no slack. Intuition shows me my path. Embrace the journey, our strength is fact. No turning.
Like that all the way along. Where it stretches all the way along here and the other.
So all of these rocks are completely covered in mussels for the pescatarians out there. Thanks. Makes you laugh, doesn't it? People pay a fortune for these in Marks and Spencer's.
Yeah.
In a stand, I'm a god now. Thunderclouds about to bust out. Enemies getting struck down within one round. Bite the dust, wow, got our differences. Need to learn that, but we are free now. Can't reverse that. We walk with the laws of nature, bro. We come way too far to turn back. Every sorcerer needs him a sorceress. Nature's force and the trees are a fortress. Slow and steady wins the race, be the tortoise. Breaching the borders, free from the orders. Sleep when you're snoring, don't sleep when you're walking. Believe in yourself, and when they give you hell, tell them shut the fuck up, don't speak when I'm talking. Blood clot if you love, not from the bus stop. Don't get a place on the spaceship, bruv. What a picture paints 1,000 words, but never be a mugshot. Connect enough dots, change perceptions, just watch. In the future they will analyze this and see blueprints for a paradigm shift. Can't mass lockdown or sanitize shit. Manifest already, got it in the tight grip.
Collected yesterday. Now, I don't recommend putting them in water and keeping them overnight. It's still less than 24 hours out, so we've got some of the bladder rack as well. We've got some in the bottom of the pan, and that'll keep them fresh. And what we're doing now is just sort of going through and processing them. And what you need to do, and this is very important with shellfish, is to look for signs of life. So all of these are closed shut. That means they're alive still. They've still got the muscle contractions. Any that are open, you throw them away straight away. And these are all good. And this is why you wouldn't have them in water overnight, because if there's one bad one in there, the bacteria will get out and infect the rest of it. So when you're processing them, see if we can find a good example. One of the bigger ones maybe. Alright, so what we've got on here, this is where they attach themselves to the rocks. This is pretty strong stuff, this is. It's not like it's going to do you any harm if you eat it, but it's not pleasant in the mouth. It's tough and gritty. And we call this the beard. You give it a tug, you know, like if we're tugging our beard sometimes like this, exactly the same. And all you do is work it down the slot. There we go. And take it out like that and discard. So he's sort of ready to go. Got smaller ones with the barnacles. Alright. Now, with these, in restaurants, they will use a teaspoon or something to scrape the barnacles off. We don't have to be too precious about that at all. Alright, so that's nothing to worry about. So once we get these cleaned up, we're going to have a little cook up of them later. There we go. I can see now through all of these, just looking on the top, all of these are still alive and they're still good and cold. It was low temperatures last night. Let's take his beard off. Ginger pubes, look. On there.
And we got some what are these, sea carrots?
Yep, these are
samphire.
Yep. There's a bit of valerian in there as well. I don't know how that got in, but that's okay. You got some of the samphire, and there is some of the salty fingers as well. Look. They look like jelly beans. So yeah, these are going to cook up nice. I'm not seeing any that are dead yet. This is the best way of keeping them fresh. And even when you're out collecting, alright, we're into some of the best months for collecting them now. And getting up around about May time is when you don't want to be collecting these.
Okay.
You're starting to get algal blooms in the water. These are filter feeders as well. So any of the shit and the bacteria that's in the water is going to end up in the meat in here. So, and then coming into the summer when they're in breeding season, they're using a lot of their energy for that, and they ain't so good either. So leave them to breed, and you're more doing this going into the autumn and winter and early spring seasons. So there we have it. Okay, we're going to have a feast on them a bit later. Don't know which way I'm going to do it yet, but I might pay a bit of homage to Keith Floyd, my hero.
Now the chef is in the kitchen. That's what I like to see.
Parsley. You're always welcome to add it. Mussels, right? That's the ones I've checked. I ain't taking the barnacles off. I'm not, you know, I ain't serving up with the sausage fingers. Right. So that's going straight in. White wine.
Yeah.
Right. So we're whacking a bit of heat into these now. What I was talking about previously this afternoon was looking for signs of life. So before you put them in the pan, if they're open, get rid of them. Once you're in the pan and you've started cooking them, now you can see they're opening. They're the keepers. The ones that are in the pan that do not open after cooking, get rid of them. In the words of Ken Holm, if you could always smell this. That sounded Dutch. You know, what the fuck? Some cream, bit of vinegar, little splash.
I'm not that clever, but I have got like
Yeah, you know I walk through the concrete jungle, they hunt you, my life ain't a risk. Ashore all my enemies nowhere to run to, see karma that rise from the mist. I see them plotting and scheming like Sun Tzu, but they will not get what they wish. Fuck your AI, now you stepped in my world, the gorilla and lion is king.
You got these large ones here. So it's a bit wet, but they will dry out.
Yeah.
Put them somewhere. Good fire starters. People use them for ornaments as well.
They also represent the pineal gland.
Exactly. That's why it's called the pine tree. Well rotted. Underneath here. See these white strands? This is all mycelium. And this is what's breaking down the wood now. And this will turn it back to the earth. Fertilise it for something else. Having some talks with some fellow peers of mine, we are of the opinion that mycelium controls the world. It is everywhere, underneath us. It's quite a vast topic. There's a good guy, if I can remember his name, two good guys actually to listen to. One is Merlin Sheldrake. He's written a good book on fungi. And the other guy I like is Paul Stamets. He's come out with some really good stuff as well. stuff that's gone against all the common thinking from the past. They're a bit more revolutionary in the way that they put their point across. They get their haters, obviously, you know, like we all do. It's they're well worth listening to, and then you can make your own opinion from it. You get a lot of evergreen stuff like ivy. It does have a use. You can actually make washing liquid out of this to wash your clothes. It's got saponins in there. There is a method of processing this, which is pretty damn easy. You just need a pot to cook it up in. I've got a friend of mine, funny enough, her name is Claire Ivy, and she makes a lot of this and uses it in a washing machine. It's better for the washing machine because when it comes out in the drain, there's none of that shit, there's none of those little micro beads and stuff. So this is the future, I think, with making cleaning products, etc. There are some other things as well, like horse chestnut, your conker tree, that's got saponins in there as well. Another thing that can be used, what we've got here. Now look, again, this is a member of the carrot and parsley family. People can come along, see, they look at these leaves and they think it's the same thing. It's not. It's like we spoke about yesterday. This is arguably the most deadly plant in the northern hemisphere. This one's hemlock water dropwort, or Enantha crocata. It's a member of the same family. People can even mistake this for watercress as well. But I would say, if I had that small amount and I was to eat that, I'm going to be in hospital within the next 3 hours. Wow. And the best thing they can do, there's no cure for it, they can put you on life support. It's got an enanthotoxin in there. Now the way it works first is you're going to get the worst stomachache ever. Then you're going to get convulsions, you're going to be spewing up. That's when you start knowing things are going wrong. It's the worst stomachache you're ever going to get. And then after that, you start to get, I don't know, have you ever seen the film The Exorcist? He's in the bed and you're getting involuntary muscle spasms. And the symptoms are exactly like that. Now, what will eventually happen is it will paralyze you from your extremities, from your fingers and your toes first. It'll come back in and then it will shut down your heart and your lungs. Anything that looks carroty or parsnippy, if it doesn't have any hairs on it and it's got a smooth stem, don't touch it. Just here, you can smell like a musty smell. Literally this spot, the fox. If I step back here, I can't smell it. Take one step, I can smell it. Take another step, I can't. Fox marking spot.
They're good for you as well, aren't they?
Yeah. Got some little bambinos there as well. That's like your flower there.
What's pine needle good for then?
So you've got your vitamin C, very good for that. You've got beta carotene. But again, you can also make your own hair fresheners and stuff like that. And also these, the dried ones, I'm sure everybody knows. After, you know, if people have Christmas trees and they start drying out like this, absolute fire hazard. These are really good for cooking shellfish.
Right. What, on a bed of them?
Yeah, just lay them down on the ground and then you cover over with a big clump of those. This burns hot and fast. Set light to it, boom, done. Then just blow off the ashes, there's never a lot left. It leaves you with a beautiful smoky flavour on your shellfish. And obviously not conventional to most people, but maybe you don't have a cooking pot or something, so you can just use a big stone, lay them all on, cover it over. Just trying to find my lighter now to demonstrate how quick they go up. give that a go. And it's got natural oils in there as well. Beautiful smell. Great fire starter. Look at that. Man's first invention. And that burns hot and fast.
Nice.
Stop that. We'll put a bit of that in there. That's also good decoration for things. They're on hard.
There's one.
Actually,
I'll hammer them
hammering them
off.
off. Yeah, these are good fire starters as well. You can dry them out. Even take some resin from the tree. When you dry them out, these will open up. Put some resin from the tree in there. You can even put them on the end of if you split a stick down 4 ways, you can wedge it in. That'll last as a candle for quite some time, to give you a bit of light to do what you're doing.
Nice.
People might think this looks disgusting. It's not. That, I'm going to say, is muntjac.
Oh dear.
Small deer, yeah. From the size of that. It's, definitely not rabbit, because of the shape. If we have a look at the shape there, you see it's got these, bleeding a bit, got these little end bits. So it's in a chain like that, and it's actually their glands and their anus that's kind of crimping them off, basically. Dawn, where is it? Yeah, she's got a wee on it. There we go. Predictable. Yeah, that's roe deer. That's up in hard clumps at the moment in winter, and the reason for that is because they haven't got the softer foodstuffs like they would get in the spring. So they're eating tougher things like bark off the trees, and then it all clumps together like that rather than being nice soft
So
stools.
in these woods alone already there's 2 species of deer then?
Yep.
Nice. Venison for dinner for you meat eaters out there.
You look all around, leaves everywhere, and this is just a bare patch. So what the deer do, they like to scrape it up, try to get rid of any twigs or stones or anything like that. And this is what we call it, the deer couch. And maybe just to see if we can confirm, it looks like an old one. Normally there'd be the odd few hairs knocking around. There's one there. Okay. If I put it up against the background, you can see it's got a bit of a wavy sort of appearance to it. And if I snap it, it's brittle. It's because it's hollow. Oh. Yeah. You know, it's not like a normal hair, which takes a bit of effort to break them. It's hollow, and that hollowness, it gives them their insulation. And that's roe deer, that one. It's carved out of the bank there. So this is where they've just been crossing and pressing down the mud. They've gone up the other side. And there is, I can see a little bit of a fresh growth of ivy where obviously it's been trampled at some period. Scuffed myself on a pine tree earlier, and well, I should have thought about it, but I'm thinking of a million other things. The resin from the pine tree is absolutely fantastic, brilliant. Not just as a fire lighter, it's antiseptic, antibacterial. You get a blob of that out of the tree, put it on your cut. It will obviously protect your cut, it will cleanse your wound, and also it will harden off as well, so it will provide you protection. So it's like a plaster. And you can even marry that up with some other sort of medicinal plants as well to what would we call it, belt and braces type thing. Yeah, so we'll deal with that in a minute. That's what they do, the way they scrabble. What they've done now is probably where they were looking for one of their nuts. What they've done is created a bare patch for this little seedling to come up. In the middle of the circle.
The circle of life, eh?
If this was rabbit doing this, you'd have scrapes like this.
Yeah.
With squirrel, you can see that circular pattern. That's the way they do their thing. Right, we'll look up. There we go. There's his nest. There's the dray. Up in the branches of them trees. So trees are a bit like us as well. Cut them and they will bleed. And what we've got there is the resin. It's probably still a bit stiff because obviously it's been a bit cold tonight, or last night. I could get a bit of that wet stuff. I'm going to whack it on there. It stings a bit. It doesn't hurt to have a bit of sawdust in there. It's all antiseptic. Actually makes a bit of a matrix. I will have a hard skin over that a bit later on, once it's dried off. Extremely sticky, very hard to get off. And you can see, yeah, there's another good example here, look. You see it all weeping out. Then down the bottom, it's collecting. That's a nice clear blob. I'll just get that on my cut. There's another bit there. So this tree is bleeding, basically.
It's a shame, it's a nice big boy, isn't it?
But it's making way for the younger ones, so. There we go. Again, we want to get her.
I wonder how many years old it is. Six. 56.
Right. So that's telling me this is a post-war plantation, and that this happened a lot of places where they took away the native trees and put in the fast growers to actually rebuild the country. Another good thing to note on this, I've got my little brush to sweep some of this off. Right, good navigation aid if you find a tree stump like this. Right, look at the growth rings. Okay, so this is when there was a baby.
Yep.
Growing out and out. Okay, this one's going up and it's probably had a lot of space. You can almost see its history. When it gets to here, there'd have been something over there, which is covering it. That is telling me, with the real tight rings, okay, this is north.
Right.
Because it's not getting the sun. You come down here, these rings open up, and where are we now? Midday. There's the sun in the south. It's telling us another story. So another good navigation thing is to look at pretty much any tree that isn't too much blocked out or right in the middle of the woods. If you look at one on its own, all right, see that one? Now I don't reckon I'd even need to say which way south.
Yeah, it's growing
it's pointing
on
south.
one side only, isn't it?
It's telling you which way is which. Another good method. This one here is something that I would say pretty much everyone's familiar with. Alright, this is your sticky weed, goose grass, the Latin's Gallium apirine. Young shoots like this taste a little bit like pea shoots, but it's also got some very good medicinal qualities as well, with regards to insect bites, cuts, nettle stings, even like sunburn. Got a friend of mine who makes some soaps with this stuff. Good for eczema as well. At this stage, that's kind of how you want it. When it starts bolting, the older leaves, they get real hairy and a bit scratchy in the mouth. You can still eat them, but it's not recommended. Always try to look at where the energy is in the plant and think about its stages of growth. So at this stage, all the energy is right in the top here. Alright, I'm going a little chew. See, these are succulent, juicy, and they're tender. They get a lot tougher when they're older. If we looked at like brambles here now, right, the energy's right there in the tip of that. These old leaves here, that's just a solar panel basically for their photosynthesis. And you can see the difference between the stems as well. It's a lot darker, then these are a lot more lusher green. These young suckers coming off.
You can eat the leaves of them, can't you? Because you can make tea out of it as well.
So the little buds on the ends, they're not quite developed yet. As the like fresh shoots unfurl like on the leaves, you pick them off. They've got a beautiful, almost rosy kind of flavour to them. They're very dry, and you know it's been said, and I do agree that if you're making a tea out of it, it's a very good substitute for bergamot. So you don't even have to worry about it coming in the fruit. You've still got a vitamin C in these shoots. So again, it's another source. Okay. There's a good bit of root there, I think. Alright, this one here is called Woodhavens. And another name for it is called clove root. This is really good for toothaches, sore throats, any mouth ulcers, mouth complaints. I knew what its benefits were, but I didn't know why. Until a few years ago, I had a lovely lady came out on a walk and talk, and she said, "Oh, may I try some?" And I was like, "Yeah." I said, "Go ahead." Well, it turns out she's a dentist, and she said, "Oh, that's eugenol. We use that in the surgery." And then I properly looked it up. Yeah, this contains eugenol. And again, why it's called clove root as well, it tastes like cloves. And what do people use for bad tooth? Cloves.
Yeah.
Same thing.
Apparently as well, cloves, it can actually regenerate your teeth. You know, like if you get cavities or anything, you can actually like grow them back.
Yeah.
And they tell you
I think a couple of mine are probably too far gone, but a good way of recognising them at this time of year, you've got this like tri-lobed end of the leaf stem there. You had the boomer generation, like my mum and dad, right? So you know, they're telling me, "Oh yeah, growing up, yeah, we all had it tough." Well, no, you actually had everything laid on a plate. You had all the jobs, you had all the cheap housing, you had all the council housing, even the opportunity to buy. You were rewarded. Our generation, Generation X, no, we didn't. We've had a lot of a tougher time. Many of us can't afford a mortgage or anything like that anymore. We got cancelled out of it.
Well, same with mine as well, really, isn't it? It's like, in this climate, I couldn't afford even a deposit on a house unless I completely conform with what I'm told to do.
Yeah.
And even then, people that are doing that, they can't afford to buy properties, and even when they do they really even own it? I don't know.
You never really do, because the mortgage would probably take you to beyond your life anyway.
Yeah, it's called a mortality gauge. They're gauging your mortality based on your finances.
Yeah, exactly.
Born Babylon.
The thing is with fungi, out of all the thousands and thousands of species we've got in this country alone, there ain't that many that's edible. And commonly, you're not going to find that many that are going to kill you. I'd say commonly, you're only going to find about a dozen. So don't go learning the thousands and thousands and thousands. Learn the ones that are going to kill you first, and then progress from that. It's a lot easier. This is actually Dawn.
Dawn, come back.
Come here. It's actually a dormouse nest.
Alright.
No worries about disturbing this now. It's in the winter, they don't use these. This is a summer residence, and it's an old one. That's good to see that they're about. During the winter, they'll actually hibernate in the ground. Look, it's been using bits of plastic and other stuff to make it up. Yep.
On the side.
That's your fire starter. Yeah, this is known as King Alfred's cake. It looks like a burnt bun. Latin name is Dowdenia concentrica. Concentrica because you've got all these concentric circles inside. In general, it grows on ash trees. We've got a dead ash here. As soon as this stuff starts growing on it, you know it's on its way out. You might be able to get an example on this. If you're picking them, you want them black like this. You don't want the brown ones because they haven't spored yet. If you get right in and scrunch it up, this is really, really good fire starter. I'll try and do it. It might be a little bit damp. Yeah, just that little spark. So even from that, there we go. It takes a while for it to catch, but the slightest little spark it'll take. And this acts like a really hot coal. Very good for getting your fire going. So if you were, say, using a bow drill or flint and steel, it takes a very weak ember, it takes a very weak spark. You see it smoking and smouldering. When we got it going, I'll just show you that I'm picking. So there we go, look, underneath it's got a better chance of being dry. It's sheltered. And that's actually crumbled quite nicely. I can actually put it there. I'll transfer some of that coal onto there. Drop some in my palm of my hand and it's burning me. Down there. Boom, and there we go. We've got a nice coal there that'll get the rest of your fire materials going. See that glowing in there? And that's real hot.
Have you got any ideas of what you would like your main message to be to people?
I mean, with regards to the whole ethos or to...
Whatever you think, like what is an important message that you would like people to hear all over the world?
Right, so that's something to consider. Well, I've always been told that nature ain't your friend, but nature ain't your enemy either. Very neutral thing. You've got to learn to live alongside it. Him, her, it, whatever. Whatever you take out, you've got to put back in as well. So there's enough out there for everybody. You're just under the illusion that there's shortages on things. There isn't. You're being cooped up, lied to. You know, point in cases, you know, at the moment with this so-called problem with eggs. You know, there's an egg shortage. No, there isn't. Not at all. Same with, we've had the fuel shortages. There wasn't a fuel shortage at all. Same with the energy crisis. Now, bearing in mind, I worked in the energy sector for 19 years. Saw quite a lot of things. Yeah, a lot of it is corrupt and underhand, and it's not like I'm going to go blowing any whistles or anything, because a lot of the damage is already done. But the thing is, don't bow down to them. Don't let them bully you. Right, there are ways around it. But it's a case of maybe having to make a few sacrifices. But the ultimate aim, you know, our ancestors were all hunter-gatherers. They were all successful. They didn't have all the modern trappings that we had, but they are the only reason that you're stood listening to us today. Because there's never been a break in the chain. We've survived every famine, every natural disaster, every disease, every war, and we're still here. If there was one break in the chain, if one of your ancestors had been taken out by one of those things, you wouldn't be here now. So, yeah, it's a case of not saying toughening up or man up or whatever, but there's still going to be hardships to come. But there are ways around it. I think that's the best way I can put things. I'm not like mega good with words, but or putting my point across sometimes. I do waffle, but people can get the gist of that, then you're halfway there. If you don't get the gist, then you could well be done for.
And on that positive note, thanks Paul, appreciate it for your help and giving us some of your vast knowledge, and hopefully we can spread that and get people to start looking into things themselves and finding a new way of getting back to the old way.
Exactly, old way is the best way. Simple life is a lot better. You know, I've spent time with indigenous people in various parts of the world. They live a basic life. They've been doing it for thousands of years. They might have the odd car battery or something. They might have the luxury of some light bulbs and that, but I've got to say they're the happiest people I've ever met. And they're not working in a factory or an office. They're doing their work to create food and look after their kids. And you'll find you've got a whole village looking after the kids rather than a single mother. And obviously single fathers are out of the picture. There's another thing to say about that, but we'll save that for another time. Yeah, they've got a whole good community and their spirit fantastic, and the happiest people I've ever met, because their lives they're simple. They haven't complicated it.
They're in tune with nature and harmonising with their surroundings.
Yeah, and they don't destroy their surroundings. Again, like I said earlier, whatever you take out, you put back. That's a very simple ethos. I mean, I've got another. Well, people bang on, you know, about the 10 Commandments and having to follow all these books and Bibles and whichever religion. I've only got one commandment: don't be a cunt. That's it. Simple.
I love it.